we see that the apostles desire freedom to be dedicated to the word, to preaching, to prayer. And we have deacons coming into place. There are 7 men, and they are given, by the laying on of hands, special graces and powers. In church history, these deacons did become, in some places, quite powerful, because precisely they had the care of much of the material side of organization, and not infrequently they would become bishops and even popes, and it could happen also that they would be ordained deacon straight away, bishop or pope. It could happen. It's what is called ordinatio per saltum. It's valid because the episcopacy contains also the presbyterate. It is the fullness of it. And therefore all 3 degrees are in the supreme fullness. Ordination by jump, therefore, was valid, and still would be if it happens now. We notice that it is the sacrament of orders in 3 levels, and from the beginning it was reserved to the male sex. There is no real testimony that this was even considered for females. The expression diaconissa, which comes in, is a female servant, and they were helpful in the baptism of ladies. In the early stages there was a certain nakedness involved, and these would be preparing and helping on that level. But the female of diakonos would be logically diakone. Diakonissa is another word, and it's not used as a female deacon ordained in that sense. Indeed, one can always trace our history, church history, when looking at the common heritage of East and West, and the way in which in the East there's this unchanging tradition of only having males behind the iconostasis, behind the holy doors, is something which was in the West also, until even after the Second Vatican Council. For in the early stages women were not allowed, even in the new Mass, behind the altar steps, behind the altar rails. What happened in the sanctuary was, from an unbroken tradition, reserved to males. It's just important to be clear that this is not a question of equality or social pressure or political correctness. It's unbroken tradition in which there is also a guiding hand and an inspiring spirit. And we cannot move alone. We always take into account our Eastern brethren, for we have this tradition together, and all the common things that we've had are apostolic in origin. The Lord is in command. We see that as he walks on the water, and he tells his disciples not to be afraid. He is actually standing over creation and walking on the powers of nature to this day. We do well to calm down before Majesty and realize that actually he is not changed, and he has power of the elements that have issued from his hands. He, as the Logos, ordered creation, is fundamental wisdom and knows all the laws of the created order, for he invented them, and he can place another cause in the sequence, in the chain of cause and effect, creating by that something unusual, a miracle, but it is all within his power. And so it is to resolve our apparently massive problems. What he asks on our part is that we believe, that we look at him, not at the problem. For much time on earth is spent concentrating on the problem and missing him. Do not be afraid.